I've always been amazed that there are a huge variation in costs for what to me appears a very similar product. And if we dig back to the basics, what are we trying to achieve? We're trying to achieve, for example, in a big toe fusion, compression across the surface and something that stops the rotation, a neutralization plate. Now that doesn't need to be the most fancy thing in the world. And I think as surgeons, we have a professional and a moral responsibility to the industry and to the NHS to use things that are appropriate but don't cost a huge amount of money. We really do have some responsibility to how much money we spend. As a consultant, we're always moaning and bemoaning the fact that we have to make cuts and save here, there and everywhere. Well, we do have a responsibility to do that and to make sure what we are using is cost effective, that we're working efficiently within our practice. And for me, that is a really fundamental moral rule that I function by. Therefore, when I am looking at the kits that we use, I'm looking both at their effectiveness but at the cost. We are trained as primary healthcare deliverers. We're not trained as business people. A lot of my colleagues move into management, etc. I moved into education. Why do I feel strongly about it? I feel that I have to contribute to the efficiency of the NHS, which is both patient throughput and finance. You know, we work in an environment where our managers have a slightly different mission statement to doctors. Doctors want to deliver quality of care to the patients in an effective manner. The managers have a different agenda, and it's not the fault of the managers. It's a financial cost, and their jobs are effectively dependent on cost saving. One gets hung up using specific things, and like anyone, the marketing tools are effective and they're shiny and new, and you think, oh, that'd be better. As a doctor, you function on best case evidence, and as an orthopaedic surgeon with a mechanical mind, you function on what am I trying to do with this implant? What am I wanting it to do for me? And that doesn't necessarily mean you need fancy plates with 47 holes with different thickness screws that lock at several different angles. It actually means I need a plate with 4 holes that I can put some screws in to neutralize a rotating force. Simple. So it's an appreciation of the mechanics of what you're trying to achieve rather than using the newest shiny plate that's available. I've always believed that actually when you're undertaking an operation with a piece of kit, that you as the surgeon should be well versed with that bit of kit. That doesn't mean that you've had a rep in the theatre for the first 10 cases you've done, but it means that you've had a responsibility of learning how to use it, and that is via literature, via new modern techniques, perhaps VR. Let's face it, we as orthopaedic surgeons use drills, screws, screwdrivers and plates all the time, and it's not rocket science to the majority of us. Do I need a rep in theatre to do a first MTP fusion? The answer is no. Do I have a rep in theatre when I do a first MTP fusion? The answer is no. There are only very small instances where a rep is useful. And again, it's for support of myself, but again, professionally, even when one does ankle replacements, I know the kit. I know which stages follow which stages. I know what I need. Whilst I understand businesses have to make a profit, and that's very important, it's a marketplace, I do think that perhaps you're paying for someone's services is not required. It's not required, and therefore I have no problems, and I'm comfortable in an environment where you're using simple products without a rep available. We're functioning in really tough financial times,
Yeah.
and everyone who works for the NHS needs to stand up and take a look at their contribution and make sure it's effective, efficient, and delivering the mission statement of the NHS, which is care across the whole community. And that's from senior management down to cleaners. Everyone has to be aware of their place in the team, and they're all important, but they've got to be working cost effectively, well and efficiently.